Look, let's be honest, for years the idea of robots taking over has been the stuff of science fiction. We pictured gleaming Terminators or Rosie from the Jetsons. But the robot revolution isn't arriving with a dramatic fanfare, it's creeping in quietly. One automated checkout lane, one algorithm, one surprisingly efficient burrito-making machine. Artificial intelligence and robotics are no longer abstract concepts. They're in our warehouses. They're in our hospitals. And increasingly, in the software that decides if you get a loan. And while it's easy to joke about a robot messing up your lunch order, the reality is far more complex and, for many, deeply unsettling. The conversation about AI and jobs often gets polarized into two camps. On one side, you have the tech utopians, who promise a glorious future where robots do all the boring work, freeing us humans to write poetry and learn the ukulele. On the other side, you have the doomsayers, who predict mass unemployment and a society where a handful of tech billionaires own everything, including the robots that replaced you. The truth, as it so often is messier and sits somewhere in the frustrating middle. When we talk about job losses, it's easy to get lost in big, abstract numbers. A report might say millions of jobs will be automated, and our eyes just glaze over. It sounds like a problem for the economy, not for people. But these aren't just statistics, they are seismic shifts happening in communities across the United States. Think about the manufacturing heartland, places in Ohio, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania. For generations, a job on the factory floor was a ticket to the middle class. It meant a steady paycheck, benefits, and the ability to buy a house and support a family. Now many of those factory floors are quieter, populated by robotic arms that weld, paint, and assemble with a precision and endurance that no human can match. Robotic arms that weld robotic arms that paint robotic arms that assemble, the impact ripples outward from there. When a factory downsizes or closes due to automation, it's not just the assembly line workers who are affected. The local diners that served them lunch lose customers. The small hardware stores that supplied them with tools see their sales drop. The tax base of the entire town shrinks, leading to cuts in funding for schools, roads, and public services. What starts as a company's bottom-line decision to replace human labor with machines becomes a slow-motion crisis for an entire community. This isn't a hypothetical scenario, it's the lived reality for countless towns that have seen their economic core hollowed out, one automated process at a time. To understand the real cost of this shift, you have to listen to the people on the front lines. Consider the story of a man named David, a 52-year-old from a small town in Indiana. For nearly 30 years, David worked at an automotive parts plant. He was a welder, a skilled trade he learned from his father. It was hard work, but it was steady, and it paid well enough for him to raise 2 children and feel a sense of pride. Then, about 3 years ago, the company invested millions in a new fleet of robotic welders. They were faster, they didn't need brakes, and they didn't require health insurance. David was retrained to be a robot supervisor, which basically meant watching a bank of monitors and calling maintenance if a red light started blinking. His pay was cut by a third. The story doesn't end there. Last year the company upgraded the software and the new system could monitor itself. David, along with most of the other remaining human supervisors, was laid off. Now, he finds himself in his 50s competing for jobs at big box stores and fast food restaurants, jobs that pay a fraction of what he used to make. So, why are companies so eager to embrace robots and AI? It's not because they have some sinister plot against humanity, or because their CEOs watched The Terminator one too many times. The answer, it's about the bottom line. Robots' AI systems massively increase efficiency and productivity. A robot on an assembly line can work 24/7. It never needs a vacation. It never needs a bathroom break. It never calls in sick. Robots deliver precision and consistency. That leads to higher quality products and less waste. For companies in a global market, those advantages are hard to ignore. Robots are a smarter long-term investment. There is an upfront purchase and installation cost. After that, ongoing costs are mainly electricity and maintenance. Compare that with a human employee. Humans require salaries, health insurance, retirement contributions. They're protected by labor laws, overtime, and working conditions. A robot doesn't get injured and file for workers' compensation. An AI doesn't join a union or go on strike for better pay. It would be dishonest to pretend that this technological shift is all doom and gloom. There are genuinely some significant upsides to the rise of automation and AI. For starters, dangerous dirty dull. Think about inspecting sewer lines, handling hazardous materials, or performing repetitive tasks in a loud, physically taxing factory environment. Automating these roles can lead to a dramatic reduction in workplace injuries and fatalities. If a robot can be sent into a collapsed mine to search for survivors instead of a human, that is an undeniable good for humanity. Technology, in these cases, literally saves lives. Moreover, AI and automation have the potential to create new products and services that improve our quality of life in countless ways. In medicine, AI is helping doctors diagnose diseases like cancer earlier and more accurately than ever before. Cancer. In transportation, self-driving technology promises a future with fewer traffic accidents. In science, AI is accelerating research by analyzing massive datasets, climate science materials, engineering. These advancements are not trivial. They represent real, tangible progress that can make the world a healthier, safer, and more efficient place for everyone. The problem isn't the technology itself, but how its benefits are distributed. But then there's the bad, and it is profoundly bad. The most immediate and obvious negative impact is the job displacement we've been talking about, leading to increased unemployment and underemployment for certain segments of the population. So, where is all of this heading? Trying to predict the future of technology is a fool's game, but we can see some clear trends emerging from the chaos. AI is moving from routine, physical tasks to complex cognitive ones. The first wave replaced blue-collar jobs. The next wave is coming for white-collar work. Accounting, financial analysis, journalism, software coding. An AI can write a basic earnings report. It can draft simple legal contracts. It can write functional blocks of code. The old advice, go to college and get a good office job, is no longer guaranteed economic security. The skills that stay valuable are uniquely human: creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving. A machine can analyze a spreadsheet, but it can't lead a team with empathy. It can't negotiate a complex trust-based business deal. It can't produce a truly original artistic idea. The future will be closer human-AI collaboration. Alright, so we've established that the robots are here, they're taking some jobs, and the future is uncertain. It's enough to make you want to curl up in a ball and wait for our new robot overlords to assign us our designated human petting zoos. But we can't do that. We have to have a plan. And a good starting point would be a massive nationwide investment in education and retraining programs. But let's be clear, this can't be the half-hearted learn-to-code bootcamp brochures you see stapled to telephone poles. These need to be robust, accessible, and practical programs designed in partnership with industries to teach the skills that are actually in demand now and will be in the future. Next, we need to seriously rethink our social safety net. The current system, built for the economy of the 1950s, is woefully inadequate for the 21st century. The idea of tying healthcare directly to employment is becoming increasingly insane in a world where lifetime jobs are disappearing. We need to explore options like portable benefits that follow the worker from gig to gig, or even decoupling healthcare from employment altogether. In the end, the rise of robots and AI is not something we can stop, nor should we necessarily want to. Let's try not to screw it up.